welcome to the Week 3 Fantasy Football pregame show. I'm your host, Ben. With me, as always, is Matty Nice, the best Sunday Showdown player in the history of the Sunday Showdown. Matt, how are you today? How are your teams looking?
I am doing well. My fantasy teams look like they are in pretty good shape today, barring one with a couple of big wide receiver injuries, which everybody has.
Yep.
And my real team also has a big wide receiver issue, so we'll see.
Yeah, let's get right to the wide receiver issues. Julio Jones just announced he is out, not going to play. So what does that mean for Russell Gage?
It's obviously a bump. I think it's a bigger bump for Ridley and Hurst than Russell Gage, though.
But, I mean, Ridley's already on fire. Like, nobody's not starting Ridley. But is Russell Gage now into your top 30, top 25, top 20, top 2?
No, he's probably – I would move him top 40 anyway.
Let's pull up the rankings here.
I have him at 56, but that was obviously before that news. But I would still I'd probably put him around 40. I still wouldn't start him if I didn't have to.
So just checking out the rankings here at blueduckfantasy.com. So consensus, you say about 30. So where about John Brown is?
I said about 40 for me.
So you would start John Brown ahead of him.
I would.
Guys like Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Mike Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mike Williams, come on. That's not even close.
Yeah, I guess he's your guy. You're going to be pretty happy about the Sunday Showdown today, I can tell you that. Yeah, I think he's a borderline, like in a 3 wide receiver league, you could have him in, especially if you have injuries, right? If you have Julio and Gage, he's your replacement. You got to just plug him in.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not a must start, even as many targets he's been getting as well as been doing. But that's enough about that. Let's check out the weather. Matt, what do you got for us?
There was all sunshine. There wasn't really anything even for rain or wind. No real concerns. It's still September, of course, so we should not anticipate too much this early, but there should be no weather affecting any of your players today.
You heard it here from Matt the Weatherman. No weather issues in week 3 for the early games, at least. Possibly the late games as well.
Yeah, even the late games from early forecast, nothing.
No big winds, no hurricanes, so we're good there.
Yes.
You want to talk about Thursday Night Football or Dynasty or DFS first?
Doesn't matter. Let's go Thursday night, I guess.
Thursday night review time. Half-decent game. Dolphins, who the dog picked. The dog is 2 for 2 in picking games. Dog will be picking again this week because we're going to keep the dog around as long as it's winning. So make sure you listen to the dog. Again, we cannot be held responsible for any of the picks the dog makes. It is a dog after all. So let's talk about James Robinson rest of the season. Where do you rank him?
He's definitely. I think he's got to be in your starting 24.
He's definitely top 30.
Yeah, I would say he's. I think I had him ranked about 19 or 20 this week, and that's where I would anticipate him coming next week.
He led definitely the team
What's that?
He led the team in receiving yards, and he's yet known as more of a standard back. And he doesn't play like all the snaps because they do use Chris Thompson in that role. But he's shown that he could be a 3-down back. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think he's right around the top 20. Question for you. Him, David Johnson, rest of the season.
I would still go DJ at this point.
After DJ, who was the ballsy sit of the week, has a terrible week against the Steelers defense, will you change your mind?
I'll give him benefit of the doubt against Steelers.
Did you give him benefit of the doubt against the Ravens?
Yeah. DJ Shark wasn't playing either, so that probably affected Jacksonville's game plan a little bit for receiving-wise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't see him doing that reception-wise every week or even ever again this season, but the yards are going to be there, and he runs, head down, north-south. Gotta love it. Okay,
Armstead won't do anything when he comes back, I don't think.
No, I don't. Why would you even bring him in? He's just going to spell Robinson when he's tired. I think Chris Thompson continues to have a role, though. So in deep PPR leagues, Chris Thompson as a pass catcher, I think he was second or third on the team in catches, and he played a lot of downs, especially when they were behind late in the game. James Robinson wasn't getting the touches. Let's talk about Myles Gaskin, rest of season. Where do you see him? And then we'll talk about dynasty value for him.
Rest of season, I'd say top 35.
Yeah, I don't think he's very good rest of season. I think with Jordan Howard and Breda there, they're going to continue to, Jordan Howard is going to be the Mike Tolbert of 2020 with vulturing the touchdowns. He's got 3 already this season. Yeah. And Breda's going to have a bit of a role as well. But I think next season, once those guys' contracts are done, they're not going to look to keep them unless they're going to keep them for cheap. And if they do, Myles Gaskin is going to just be the guy. So I picked him up in our league of record with the number 1 waiver wire pick. So now he's keeper eligible. Don't know if he'll make it into that conversation, but the upside is there for him.
I don't think he's close to the keeper conversation at this point. We'll see how it goes. But
and again, it's early. I'm using my waiver wire early on a player with the team that I don't think is going to be competitive for me this season because of injuries. So I'll have another chance to use the waiver wire later on as I move back up to the list. I figured I'm not going to sit on it because I'm not 1 player away. So
yeah, I'm going to sit on mine. My waiver wire. I do.
You love sitting on it. Okay, so let's talk about the question everybody wants to know about. If Devontae is out, how high is Allen Lazard?
He's still not that terribly high for me. I just think they're going to spread it around. They're going to get MVS involved. They're going to use Aaron Jones. They're going to use their tight ends. Look at how the tight ends were used against the Saints last week with Vegas there. They're going to be spreading it around. Nobody's going to be that terribly high, I don't think. Lazard will be about 30, I'd say.
Higher or lower?
Higher than Russell Gage. Higher than Russell
Gage. What if Devontae Adams plays?
35 to 40 for Lazard.
So then he'd be lower than Russell Gage?
He'd be about Russell Gage.
He'd be about Russell Gage. You can't make that decision. Okay, right, so we have our first comment of the week from a familiar friend. Good morning, guys, and happy football day. Russ Wilson or Patrick Mahomes? Who are you starting? I'm going with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I have Mahomes as well, but Russ is just still on fire, and that's going to be a high-scoring game. But, yeah, I've got Pat Mahomes as number 2 quarterback this week. Russ is 5.
You moved him down from 1.
I did. I think that's going to be just a shootout tomorrow night, but I just think LJ is going to do a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fine with that as well, but I'm still taking him over Russ all day, every day. I think at some point Seattle's going to figure out we probably don't need to get into these huge high-scoring games with the defense that we have, and maybe we try running the ball a bit more. We do have a back who had 1,000 yards last year and Chris Carson ahead of him. So the Russ thing is he's a guy who can be a 40-point getter one week, and he could be like a 13, 14 the next week. He's never going to be terrible, but he does have those swings. I think I posted about it in the preseason, talking about how as many like really high weeks as he has, he does have some below average weeks as well. Again, not bad weeks. He's not putting up 8. He's never going to put you up 8, but 13, 14. Whereas Mahomes is going to be in the 18 to – he just has the higher floor as well. So, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, answer for me. Matt,
he does. Yeah, I agree there. I mean, I believe that one of those quarterbacks could be moved if you have them both too.
Yes, you should be trading one. What kind of a league are you playing in where you have both those quarterbacks? All right, so let's move on to the rankings fight for the week. First thing we're going to talk about is quarterbacks. There were no quarterbacks that were in the rankings fight this week, but let's just talk about how deep quarterback is. We just had the question about Wilson versus Mahomes, which those are 2 top 5 guys. But quarterbacks going like, what, 20 deep now? Like at what point, and I'm going to pull up the rankings, and you tell me at what point you're not comfortable starting a quarterback. So, 1, we have Lamar. And you know what? I'm going to make this bigger just for the viewers. There we go. So, Lamar, Kyle Murray. Again, this is BlueDuckFantasy.com. Our full rankings are there. You see there's my ranking. You can sort it by my ranking if you want to win. Sort by Matt's ranking if you want to maybe win. And you can sort by Mr. Black's ranking if you definitely want to win. So at what point, I'm just going to scroll down the list. I'm not going to rank and say all of them. I'm just going to move this so that you can see more of it. Like, is this here, about here, where you start getting uncomfortable? Like, after 10?
I mean, I think, well, I mean, I'm okay with Baker, sorry.
That's what I was thinking. It's about 20 deep right now at quarterback, where if you're starting any of these guys, and we're like, Fitzpatrick isn't the guy you're comfortable starting, but if you're forced to start him, he didn't even make our list, and he was pretty good.
I'm not even that comfortable with Trubisky. You've got him a lot higher than the both of us, but
he's got a good match.
Week, Atlanta,
yeah. And again, I wouldn't be like, I'm not comfortable starting these 5, and I'm not comfortable starting Baker. I don't care what you say, but it's about 20 deep right now at quarterback for who you can start. So goes back to what we said, I think at least once or twice. Wait on quarterback in your drafts. There's no reason to be picking, these guys up here. What's this guy doing right here? Huh?
Yeah.
Not really working out.
It's been two tough defenses. It's another one.
He's going to be fine. I just wanted to bring that up because I know a lot of people love to get quarterbacks way too early in drafts, and just showing you right now, we're going into week 3 and you're good with 20 starters. You could have just not drafted a quarterback and picked up a random guy off the waiver wire and been fine. Big Ben looks great.
People will drop quarterbacks too. Like this week in one of my leagues, for example, I dropped Carson Wentz for Roethlisberger because I just like the matchup better, and Wentz has been awful. I see that you don't agree with that this week, but
he's got to bounce back at some point.
Pardon?
He's got to bounce back at some point, but I do believe I have Tannehill starting over him. I'm still making that decision though. And I'm going to switch it. Wentz is in.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got him in a couple leagues, but someone dropped Roethlisberger, and I just thought that was a better matchup.
And okay, here's my start sit question for you for the day. Standard league, Melvin Gordon or David Montgomery? Melvin Gordon is playing Tampa Bay. David Montgomery is playing Atlanta.
That's standard?
That is standard.
That's really close.
It is really close.
I think I have them I want to lean. Oops. I'm going to pull up my ranks. I think I have those two right beside each other almost. Yeah, I've got Monty at 15 and Gordon at 16. So I would go Montgomery, but they're super close.
Any news on Josh Jacobs? He's going to play. Is he 100%? Yeah. What's the injury there?
He's playing.
Would you consider sitting him for either of those guys?
No. He practiced almost in full yesterday. On Friday. It sounded like so.
All right, I'm going with Gordon, just because he's the only guy. I think David Montgomery in that matchup, if they fall behind, you might see a little bit more Tariq Cohen. And you know how much I like Tariq Cohen, who won me the bet. We have another bet coming today. I can guarantee you that.
All right.
Anyway, we're going to move on to back to the rankings fight. I just wanted to talk about how deep quarterback is. And the thing is, it's a week-to-week matchup, too. If you get somebody, like you said, you have Wentz, you drop him for Big Ben because you like the matchup better this week. And next week, you might pick up Wentz and drop Big Ben because you like the matchup better that week. So
Wentz plays Pittsburgh next week, so that's probably not happening.
Okay, well, it is an example. Let's move on to the rankings here. Austin Eckler, my number 2 running back this week. He is in my DFS pools. This is the week. A lot of my picks this week in the rankings, I was going with my gut with guys who were just going to break out and have huge games. So Austin Eckler was one of them. That's why he is so high in my rankings. Of course, he's a must start. If he's not gotten to the point where you're not going to start him yet, but if he doesn't do it this week, when I have him ranked as 2, I won't forget it, Austin. I seriously won't. Kareem Hunt, next up on the block. Matt, you don't like him this much this week. He is at 23. So barely a startable asset in PPR. Mr. Black and myself, our average ranking is 14 on him.
Yeah, that's quite high for Kareem, who you just honestly you can trust for about 10 touches a game. Nick Chubb probably will dominate that backfield again. Kareem didn't do a whole lot until late in the game last week. I still would start him because you can see he's 23, but he's not borderline running back number 1 for me right now.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Devonta Freeman. You don't expect him to get much work this week?
No, he was he is active. They did say that today. But yeah, he missed all of training camp. Like, how good of shape can the guy be in? I think they're going to use Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman today more than Devonta. And I mean, yeah, I was going to say they should be getting blown up, but they're probably not because San Fran has nobody. I just don't see him having a role today. Like, that's going to be significant for fantasy.
I think he's worth the gamble. I have him at 27. I think right after him, I get to like the running backs where I don't want to start anybody after. I think Mike Davis was 28, and I was like, I don't want to start anybody after him. Everybody else is garbage. I'd rather go wide receiver. But I do have a question here on Instagram. So somebody asked me, contemplating starting Swift over Pittman or Traquan Smith. As you know, DeAndre Swift was my ballsy start of the week. He didn't mention scoring format. I told him to go with Swift. Who would you go with here, regardless of format? In standard, I think you're going.
It was Swift, Traquan Smith, and who was the other one?
Michael Pittman.
Oh,
I think Pittman's last.
That's easy for me. I'd go DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's that close. Even in PPR, I don't think that's close.
You don't like Traquan?
Not too terribly much. Like, not as much as Swift.
Even in PPR, I don't think that it goes any way other than Swift, because I think Swift's going to get a lot of catches. Mark Ingram. You still have him inside the top 20. Or close to the top 20, sorry. I have him at 31. I need to see it. You got to show me a game here. Like, he's a flex that you're not very comfortable with for me. He's not a starting running back with the snaps being split. Like, Gus Edwards led them in snaps last week. It's a three-headed backfield, and I don't think they're going to go away from that until they get close to the playoffs, and they're going to realize Dobbins is our best bet. Let's just go with Dobbins and push that through.
It's a four-headed backfield.
4?
Yeah.
Justice Hill?
No, Lamar Jackson.
Well, he doesn't count. He's not playing the same position. He gets quarterback points.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just want to bring up that I'm not comfortable starting him. And even in the flex, like in a standard league in the flex, I'm okay with it, but I'm not thrilled about it. Let's talk about Joshua Kelly, another player that you apparently don't think is going to be all that great this week. Barely inside the top 40 for you, inside the top 30 for Mr. Black and myself. Joshua Kelly.
He's still a backup. I mean, you have Austin Eckler as number 2 for a reason, don't you?
Yeah, but I think they're going to score a lot of points against Carolina.
Are they with Herbert?
Well, Herbert looked half decent last week against City.
Well, KC wasn't expecting him either, I don't think. So, I mean, yeah, he'll be okay. You can start him in a pinch as a flex, but it's not somebody that I just don't think the volume's enough there for him.
20-plus carries last week.
Yeah, but then what did Eckler have? Like, not much.
12.
Yeah, so they're going to flip. You got a couple questions here in the chat.
Dagon Zombie says, morning, dudes. Edelman or Cup in 0.5 PPR? Ooh, I'm going to have to look that one up.
I think it's Cup for me.
That's close.
Yeah, it's Cup for me. It's not that close for me either. I don't like I just don't like Edelman that much.
It is Cup for me as well, but it's closer. It's only 2 spots away, and Edelman had the big game last week. But it is Cup for me. Thanks for the question, Dagon Zombie. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Mike LaCour, who should I put in? John Brown or Marquise Brown? That is Marquise Brown.
Yeah, Hollywood.
It is all day Marquise Brown. He is all the way up in my rankings at number 5.
I just looked at that. That is insane.
Right after this, we have more questions. Thanks for the question, Mike. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Unreleased leaks and snippets. Corey Davis or Michael Gallup. Matt, you're not a big Michael Gallup believer this week.
That's close. I would go Corey Davis, though.
I would go Michael Gallup just because I believe that's going to be a higher scoring game. You do have it close. You have it 29 for Corey Davis, 34 for Gallup. I have it 27-33. So we're split there. I say Gallup, you say Corey Davis.
Yeah, there's too many weapons in Dallas.
Yeah, A.J. Brown ruled out, marked down at the bottom of the screen, just like last week. I actually think Corey Davis doesn't benefit that much from A.J. Brown being ruled out. I think that he does better as the non-primary guy on the team. And when A.J. Brown is there, it's kind of like a Tyler Boyd situation from a couple years ago. Whether A.J. Green is playing or not playing, he's still going to put up decent numbers. So for me, it's Michael Gallup in this situation. I do like Jonnu Smith a lot, and we're going to talk about him in a bit. But let's go back to Marquise Brown being someone to talk about. And we're just going to skip ahead to wide receivers here. And we're going to jump to Marquise Brown. I have him 5th. You have him barely inside the top 25. Average consensus, but the two of you is 23. Again, I said it's going my gut a lot this week, and I just think he's going to have a huge game. I think that game is going to be high scoring, and they're going to need to get him involved, and he's going to be involved. He might not get more than like 5 catches, but he's probably going to get $140 and at least 1 touchdown off that.
What? But don't you think, don't all teams just do this with Kansas City? They just run the ball as much as they can to keep Mahomes and company off the field?
That was last year. They're not doing that anymore.
I think they will. I don't get me wrong. I still have them as startable play, but top 5 is just it's a little too.
Once you get behind, you got to throw.
I don't think they're going to be behind. Their defense is solid. I mean, they might be behind, but not like to the point where it's throw every play.
Marquise Brown time. Another question here from Rada Ruiz. He needs a flex. Kenny G or Jerick McKinnon or CeeDee Lamb. I think we can eliminate CeeDee Lamb.
I like CeeDee Lamb this week, but I'd go Galladay.
What's the scoring here? PPR or standard? Because I think in a standard league, I'd probably prefer McKinnon. Yeah,
I'd still go Galladay. I just don't trust San Francisco running backs right now. Like, there's going to be there's talk about Jeff Wilson having a big role today, like Jermichael Hasty. Who knows?
Kenny Galladay then. Kenny Galladay is a pick. Thanks for the comment, Ryder Ruiz. He does say it's PPR, so it is Kenny Galladay. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate the comment. Back to Marquise Brown. I think he's just going to have a big game, and that's why he's so high in my rankings. Somebody who's really high in your rankings, even though he's dealing with possible injury symptoms, is Chris Godwin. Concussion. Supposed to be 100% back, though, right?
He's supposed to, yeah, he was cleared on like Monday or Tuesday, so I'm not really concerned about him there. And I think Tampa's going to be putting up points. I have him and Mike Evans in the top 5 this week. I think it's just going to be a big day for those two guys. Denver doesn't really have any corners left. Like AJ Boye is out. I don't think they're going to be able to shut him down, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't love him. I think one good hit and he might be right back out. I saw the hit that he took that led to the concussion. He played through it a bit, but again, he's a for sure starter. But just a guy similar to Marquise Brown, who you really like this week. I really like Marquise Brown.
So are we betting Godwin versus Brown? Is that the bet?
Let's do it. Bet number 1. In standard, though. In standard.
No.
In standard.
Is it PPR?
In standard. No, in standard.
No.
You're still going to win. In standard. I'm only doing standard bets today. Non-PPR bets today.
Who plays standard?
We do in our one league. So are we betting? Brown versus Godwin? Non-PPR?
Okay, well, I was trying to look at my non-PPR rankings. They're not coming up here.
I'm sure they won't be close.
No, it won't be the same. Yeah, sure.
Yay.
I do like Hollywood better in standard versus PPR, though. Not better than Godwin, but I do.
No, I obviously in non-PPR he is better. I'm expecting the big day from him. He would have been in my DraftKings lineups or FanDuel lineups if he wasn't playing on Monday. Contest we play, it's just a Sunday contest. Darius Slayton, I have him top 12. Who else is there?
Ingram.
Thanks.
I know you don't like Ingram, but I gave both of them a bit of a bump because of no Sterling Shepard, but I like him. I like him not as nearly as much as you. I think you have top 12, right?
Yeah, I have him top 12. We have a tight end question from Ryder Ruiz. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Also, who do I start today and rest of season, Hayden Hurst or Jonnu Smith? He did say it was PPR. I think when A.J. Brown comes back, Jonnu Smith's targets are going to go down. So I would go with Jonnu today, but I think you got to hold Hayden Hurst still. Try to work out a trade because you don't need 2 tight ends, and Jonnu will probably be okay. Or maybe you sell high on Jonnu after this week. That's probably the better play. Sell high on Jonnu after he has the big game today, which he's going to have, that Matt's going to bet against in a little bit. Thanks again for the comment. Odell Beckham, you have in the top 12. I have just outside the top 20. What makes you like Odell Beckham that much this week against Washington?
I'm a big Odell Beckham fan. That's why. I think that the talent is definitely there. They're going to be throwing, like, Washington isn't a super shutdown team or anything like that. I just don't see why he's not a top 12 play. Maybe tell me why he's a top 20 versus 12.
Well, there is a comment in the chat that says why he shouldn't be a top 12. It says Baker sucks. And that's why he shouldn't be top 12.
Well, so you're not riding. You're off of Odell altogether.
Yeah, I'd be happy to sell him in the Dynasty League that I have him in. But I would like to see just like a big game. And he still hasn't had a 100-yard game in what? How long?
Yeah. And did you see his comments from earlier this week where he said it's not going to be a big year for big numbers for him?
I did not see that, but I believe it. I mean, they have so many weapons that it's going to get split around. Let's talk Adam Thielen now, a guy who I loved last week who disappointed me. So he gets into my doghouse and falls down to the top 24. You guys have him in the top 10. I think this is the week he gets injured, or Kirk Cousins also sucks, and they just go with Dalvin Cook. I mean, he's not a bad player. I'm obviously ranking him lower for personal reasons, but
yeah, you're on tilt with Adam Thielen. I'm not a big Thielen fan. Their Tennessee pass defense isn't very good either, so I think nobody else from Minnesota's passing attack will be doing much. So it'll be Adam Thielen. Should be good for roughly 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe.
I mean, it's a fair assumption. That is if Kirk Cousins is in the positives this week.
Yeah.
And not with the garbage game he had last week. Let's talk Allen Lazard. I have him one spot behind Adam Thielen at 25. You both have him just inside the top 40. We did talk about if Adams is out, that he would go up to about top 30 for you. I put this ranking in assuming even if Devontae Adams plays, he's going to be more of a decoy, similar to Mike Evans and what he did in week 1. It was week 1, right? Yeah, week 1 we caught one pass for one touchdown. I could see a similar stat line. Last guy we're going to talk about here for wide receivers before we go into the all-exciting tight end position, CeeDee Lamb. As you mentioned, you did like him. I don't have what we were having ranked at. Oh, you have him at 26. And the reason I want to bring this up is you have him ahead of Gallup, who's at 34. Yeah. Why he's number 2 now?
He's begin getting the targets. Like that's why. As Dak is looking his way more. Maybe that changes today, but from the first 2 weeks, CeeDee's been getting the guy, number 2. He's been even close to Cooper in most of the 2 games.
Right, but Michael Gallup also had that long pass that would have been pass interference on Ramsey in week 1, where he got called for the push off or whatever it was. So, but okay, we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not a big fan of Michael Gallup either, but I'm not ready to put CeeDee Lamb ahead of him at this point.
They're still both relatively close.
I think you have 8 spot difference.
8 spots, yeah, that's relatively close. And
once you
get past like the top 24, though, it's the rankings kind of bunched together.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but when you're right at that cutoff of start or sit, that's where it kind of gets really interesting to me.
Yeah, maybe I'm just looking here. Maybe I would have, if I could change one, I'd probably put Deontay Johnson ahead of CeeDee.
Okay.
So let's move on to 27, but
to the tight end bet that is incoming here. Matt, your tight end, Evan Ingram, you have his top 5 this week. Top 5. And I guess with no pass catchers in, it kind of makes sense that you would have him there. But what about Jonnu Smith? He has the same situation. A.J. Brown is out, and yet you have him outside the top 12. Explain yourself.
Well, there is a better Jonah I'm just not a big fan of, to be honest, but I still have him reasonably high, 13. Corey Davis is okay. But anyways, I just think the 49ers defense, so yeah, you see that they're playing San Fran, but their defense is not the same this week. They have no Nick Bosa, no Solomon Thomas, no Richard Sherman. Not that Sherman would play a big part with Evan Ingram, but they're going to have to be spreading out to try to stop Darius Slayton, I think, a little bit more, who you really like. I think Ingram's going to be able to run the middle of the field. Fred Warner is a little bit concerning.
So here's a bet opportunity number 2, since we didn't have one last week. You ready? We doing it? Stop looking at your phone.
I was getting feedback.
Feedback on your terrible takes on how good Evan Ingram is. So, Jonas Smith versus Evan Ingram, non-PPR. It's a bet.
Let's go PPR. I'll do it in PPR.
No, non-PPR bets today only.
No, it's PPR.
Non-PPR bets only today.
Fine, I like Ingram better anyway.
Yeah, I know you do. And I mean, your rankings are pretty much the same for PPR and non-PPR for tight end. But this would be a case where when you're betting, both the guys you picked today are better in PPR. We got 2 bets on the board. Matt has never, ever won a bet on this show.
That is
ever.
true.
I have won every single bet going back to week 1 of this year. All one of them. Got a comment. Team out of nowhere. Tyler Boyd or Will Fuller this week. Don't think I should wait in Adams. I doubt he plays. We also doubt he plays. That's Tyler Boyd for me, unless you need some type of miracle play. Will Fuller is always just kind of like the high ceiling, 0 target floor from last week.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you just need the higher floor guy, you're going Tyler Boyd. If you need like the big blow up game, then yeah, Will Fuller. But I agree that Adams, I wouldn't count on him playing.
Question for you from somebody on Instagram. You think Juju is going to have a good game? Sure. Why not?
I don't see why not. He had the knee injury. Maybe that's why they were talking about it. But he's playing. Yeah. Juju is still top 10 probably for me.
Top 15. He's definitely not somebody I'm worried about.
No. That's kind of a weird comment. I don't know. I don't get that one.
Yeah. Okay. So that was all I had for. Oh, I actually already wrote bet before here. Bet. So I can get rid of the other one. Any tough start-sit decisions, Matt?
I don't know. Do you want to watch me play with my phone looking for that? I don't think I had much.
Nope.
I guess we had in a team I co-own, it was Corey Davis versus Deshaun Jackson.
That's Corey Davis, unless it's a standard and you need a miracle.
No, it was PPR. No, sorry, it was Mike Williams. We have Corey Davis on the bench.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for Mike Williams this week. I don't have any start-sit decisions to go over. So should we go into the Sunday Showdown early, or what matchups are you looking forward to seeing today?
Well, I mean, the Sunday nighter, even without Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas, I think will be really good. Should be high scoring anyway.
Should be a good game.
Monday nighter will be great, I think.
Yep.
Chiefs and Ravens. Seattle and Dallas will be a good one today, I think. That'll be nice and high scoring. And even Pittsburgh-Houston, I think, has potential to be an interesting game. I'm curious when Houston offense starts getting going. Probably not with Pittsburgh, but I think they're going to have to put up some points. Pittsburgh will be putting up points.
Any players that you're excited to see, either a player get an opportunity like Mike Davis or Jerick McKinnon or Devonta Freeman or even Russell Gage? Anybody?
No, I'm not excited about any of those guys.
I'm excited to see how good Golladay looks because we know he's not going to be 100%. And I have him in a litany of teams. Like he's literally in almost every single one of my teams. The only team I think I don't have him in are teams I share with you and the one team in Dynasty where you took him right before my pick and I ended up with Cooper instead. But other than that, he's kind of all over the place. So I need to see what he looks like to decide whether or not I'm going to be keeping him in one of the redraft leagues that I have and what I'm going to do with him in other leagues where there's more of a contract situation. But just because there are options for a trade there that I want to look into. So he's somebody I'm excited to see today. But yeah, you mentioned the matchups. There's some really good ones, but they're all prime time. Like 2 of them are prime time, and then I'm assuming the Dallas game will be the game of the week.
It's a 3. It's the late afternoon one. I think. Oh shoot! I lost my train of thought. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so let's just jump into the Sunday Showdown. I will share the screen so that we can see that I won last week.
You didn't.
I did.
You can't just trade teams.
Oh, that looks like it doesn't fit. Oh, wait, hold on. There it is. Winner.
You had Julio. Oof.
the winner, 1-1 on the season series because I did the old Uno Reverso after we picked teams. Now, I did it before all the points were out. It's not like I changed afterwards. Now you have the Uno Reverso if you wish to use it. It's standard rule for the Sunday Showdown. It's always been there. You can switch teams if you give a valiant attempt at picking a correct team. You can't just pick a garbage team. But I will let you decide if you would like to pick first or second.
Just as per, without staring at this for too terribly long, I will let you go first.
Okay. And I will crush your hopes and dreams by taking
Oh.
I know you don't like him. I really should know where the positions go.
You should.
Boop. Yeah, I'm just doing this out of spite for you beating me the first 2 weeks. So there we go.
Oh, so now you're admitting I won. All right.
Your lineup that you picked beat the lineup that I picked. Yes, I'm admitting that.
All right. Give me. I'm going to take Melvin Gordon at a B.
Okay.
Because that just seems like a really good player to be in that group.
And then you'll take David Johnson because you love David Johnson.
Well, just give me a second to write that down here.
There's no need to write it down. You can see it on the screen. The teams are there.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Let's go with. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen, wide receiver. There he is. So we have both LA Chargers wide receivers.
Yep.
That's exciting. Former teammates back together, Keenan and Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice story going on here. I am now going to pick. I want to pick Pittman, but I'm going to go with Gage. Okay, so my C is done. I'm going to grab an A guy. And, oh, wow. These are all so good. I'm probably just going to grab 2 of these guys. So I'll take this one first.
You already took your first pick there.
What?
You don't have 2 picks in a row. You took Russell Gage already.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to say I'm taking both of these. One of these 2 guys. Whoever you don't pick, I'm taking.
I see. Okay.
That's what I meant.
All right. Well, I'll take Aaron Jones.
Okay.
So I'll give you – basically, you're going to admit you're taking Drake.
Okay.
And I will take let's give me Robert, don't call me Bobby Woods.
Keep forgetting that happens when that happens.
What's that?
All right, Bobby Woods.
Oh, you made him mad.
Okay. I am going to take – well, I'm not going to take a quarterback there. I've already taken all my C guys.
You have.
I don't like any of these B running backs. These are all terrible. And I don't want to get stuck with any of those. I don't want to pick him right now. So this means I need a B tight end. All right, this is going to be weird. I'm going to go with Evan Ingram.
All right.
Out of B. And I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd out of B.
We did get a question that's not showing up on the chat about Leonard Fournette and how much we like him this week.
Oh, so how much we like Leonard Fournette? He's risky.
Definitely risky.
Because I don't think that the role is 100% his yet. I think you saw last year what Arians did. Like, is Jones 1 week, Barber the next, Jones, Barber, Jones. So just because he had that great game, I don't think he's a for sure play. But what's the other opportunity that he has? Like, who's the other player he's comparing this to?
There isn't a second option listed, but no, I've got him as a top 24. You've got him top 20. I think that's
it's about right. He's pretty much a high flex or like a borderline start if you're stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't read the question verbatim, but anyways, we both seem to like him as a top 24 play this week for standard leagues for sure. Even PPR, he showed his PPR prowess last year. I can't see you having two better backs than Leonard Fournette.
You could. I could easily see that. Depending on when you drafted.
You could, but
it's not that difficult. He was going, like third, fourth, fifth round when he was in Jacksonville? Then after the trade, he fell even more. So if you went running back to start, you definitely could.
All right.
It is back on you.
Yes, it is. So let's give me I already know who two players are going to be. But
yeah, you're obviously going to pick Jonnu Smith.
No, I'm really not.
So you're going to pick Hunter Henry and Herbert and just stack all the Chargers together.
Give me Deshaun Watson out of B.
Okay.
And I'll take it doesn't matter which order I do this. I'm going to take Drew Sample and Michael Pittman.
You don't get 3 picks in a row.
I know, but you can't take them. So.
Okay. You have a question here from Static Pros, Josh Kelly or David Johnson? That's going to have to be David Johnson.
Yeah, DJ.
Even though he is a ballsy sit, I just don't see Josh Kelly being that much better. Even if David Johnson is bad, like Kelly's not going to blow him out of the water.
No, DJ's got the terrible matchup with Pittsburgh there, but yeah.
He's all by himself.
Yeah, exactly. Duke isn't playing, volume play. We both have Kareem Hunt higher than Fournette. Kareem Hunt was the second player that was debated in the Leonard Fournette situation.
Yeah, I like just giving people advice that are playing me in the league, but what are you going to do?
That is standard, though.
It's still taking Hunt. You saw how high I had Hunt compared to you, so Hunt over Fournette, not close. As you can see, I have Corey Davis in that lineup, even with Kenny Golladay available, just for spite.
I've got Fournette ahead of Hunt in non-PPR, but they're 24-25. Like, they're super close. Yeah. You have them 19-17.
I have Hunt 17?
Yeah. So you do have you did make the right choice on that.
Yeah, I guess it was closer in standard than because I.
Of course.
Okay. So I need a B player and an A player, and I need a quarterback. So Tannehill's going to be the quarterback. Kenyon Drake is going to be the running back. And go ahead and make your last pick, which you said was going to be Michael high-stealing Pittman. And
I get to pick your flex, eh?
Yes.
And it has to be in A, I believe. Nope.
Yeah, it has to be in B.
Okay. Perfect. You get to have Mr. Ooh, there's a lot of good options here. What
am I picking you for? I'm picking you from A?
Yeah.
You know who you're getting.
There's another question that just popped up here. Non-PPR, DeAndre Swift or Mecole
Peter
Hardman?
Todd with a terrifying image, kind of, maybe. I don't know how I feel about the image. Standard League, non-PPR, Swift or Hardman at the flex?
I go Swift.
I go Swift as well, but Hardman's got that ceiling, though. If you need points and you need that big game because you've already gone behind to James Robinson and he's got whoever you're playing's got a great team, Hardman is the high ceiling. I'm just an uncultured swine and have no idea about art.
I didn't know that either. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to go back here and give you Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown.
It's probably who you didn't think I was going to take for you.
But I figured to give me Ronald Jones, actually. Or Tariq, but you don't seem to ever go on, things. I literally picked someone for you because I don't like him. But
I don't think I like Tariq Cohen.
Could have given me Thielen. Could have given me a player that might not play.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
You're welcome, Tater Tot. Appreciate the comments. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. All right, so Matt, why don't you go over the teams?
So we're gonna stay with the same teams. I'm not.
Obviously, why would we change teams? That doesn't even make sense. We pick the team that we want.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay, so Ben has Ryan Tannehill, Ezekiel Elliott, Kenyon Drake.
Look at those running backs.
Good running backs. Mike Williams, Russell Gage, and Tyler Boyd at wide receiver.
That's thin.
Okay. Evan Ingram as a tight end, which is a good pick.
Not quite as good as Jonah Smith, though.
No. And Jonu's in A, which is surprising. And Malcolm Brown as the flex. I have Deshaun Watson at quarterback, Melvin Gordon and Aaron Jones at running back, Keenan Allen.
Good running backs.
Yep, good running backs. Keenan Allen, Robert Woods, and Michael Pittman at wide receiver.
The edge at wide receiver.
Yeah, but Michael Pittman isn't good. But
he's good. At flex.
We'll see. Drew Sample at tight end, which is kind of a flyer there.
I don't know why you didn't go Herndon.
I like Drew Sample better, actually, this week. Herndon as I'm Herndon with you. Sorry. Herndon. Like that was – he had nobody for competition last week and did nothing.
Dr. Clarence, what's up, buddy?
And Adam Thielen is the flex. He just missed – he tuned in for his favorite segment, I'm sure, which is the Sunday Showdown.
And we did it early today.
Yes. All right. So that is what we've got here. Yes, I am Herndon with Chris Herndon.
All right, that's going to wrap that segment up. See if I can figure out how to get out of it and stop sharing the screen.
There you go.
All right. Keep moving everything around. So Matt's done with Chris Herndon, even though there's literally nobody else on that team that can do anything today. Perriman's out. Crowder's out. Mims still isn't playing. Is Braxton Berrios even playing?
I haven't heard that he's not.
If he is, he's not going to be 100%. So who's going to catch passes there? Because Bell's out as well.
I don't know. But that was the same thing last week, and Herndon did nothing.
Needed a running back, made a trade last night, gave up Kupp and Slayton for Marvin Jones and Antonio Gibson.
That's a lot for that.
What else do you have at wide receiver that you can give up to like every week starters for a borderline starting running back in Gibson, whose role is yet to be defined? I do believe Dr. Clutch plays standard, though.
Yeah.
Slayton's great in standard. Kupp, Kupp's not really doing much.
Kupp is okay, though. Like, I mean, I think
he's a top 25 week in, week out guy, but you have to have some good wide receiver depth. So I'm ahead of the comments here looking on YouTube. Hollywood Brown, Tyreek Hill, and Jerry Jeudy. It depends on how many he starts, right? If he's starting 2, he's okay.
There we go. Jeudy could be definitely okay with Sutton out for the year.
I mean, he's taking the risk. He needed a running back.
Yeah.
You got to make some move.
Yeah, I'm guessing he must have like Barkley or McCaffrey or something.
So he starts 2 in a flex and now Marvin Jones. So start 2 wide receiver. So with Tyreek Hill and Hollywood, even though Hollywood isn't the best week-to-week starter, but neither is Slayton. He was probably looking at starting Kupp and Tyreek Hill the whole year, and now he's gotten Gibson. I remember talking to him on Instagram about this, and I said you're basically going to have to give up Hill if you want to get a top running back. And he went with Kupp and took a running back who has high upside. So he's betting on Gibson, and I know you like Gibson. I have him in a contract league at future years. I'm fine with him and looking to acquire him in our Dynasty league, but the guy keeps sending terrible trade offers that give me old players like Ertz and Julian Edelman.
That doesn't help a rebuilding team.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't help a team that's trying to get rid of Travis Kelce, who's not even old. I'm fine with keeping him. Yeah. But I got to move somebody.
Speaking of Zach Ertz, he was traded for Mike Davis in one of my leagues yesterday night.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
3-week plug for a rest of season tight end?
Yeah, the team that traded Ertz did have McCaffrey, but I thought that was an awful move. You could have shopped that around a lot better for that. Anyway.
Yeah, because you're getting 3 weeks. Like, who's their backup tight end that they're able to trade Ertz away?
It was
got to be Jonnu Smith.
That was the first name that I wanted to say, but it is Jared Cook.
Nope. I'm not happy with that rest of the season.
No.
I mean, you can play him this week.
Jared Cooks is okay. Like,
but he's not Ertz. I mean, there's a
this
big
is
gap.
PPR too. Like on top of that.
Yeah, there's a big gap.
Yeah, that wasn't a good trade. Like, luckily, I'm playing the team that made the trade there. So, but yeah, that was a bad trade. I thought.
What an idiot! Who would do that?
Yeah, he has not been good this year. And better matchup. You missed that segment.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
What you also mentioned is he's playing Pittsburgh next week, so he has 2 bad matchups. So even if somebody picks him up this week, they're probably
Cincinnati's not a bad match.
What's that?
Cincinnati isn't a bad matchup this week.
Well, you said Ben had the better matchup this week, right?
I like it.
And then Blake has a bad matchup next week, so you weren't going to start him then. So in your eyes, you play Ben for 2 weeks. Somebody picks up Wentz after this week, starts him against the Steelers or sees how bad he is, and then they drop him the following week, and then you grab him again.
Someone did pick up Wentz, and they have Lamar Jackson as their starter, so it didn't really make any sense.
No, again, we talk about this. Why are you holding another quarterback? We talked about quarterbacking 20 deep. 20 deep. So unless you're playing in a 2-quarterback league, you don't need 2. But we got some questions coming in. Full PPR, Gurley, Singletary, or Deontay Johnson. Thanks, guys. Oof.
It's Gurley, reluctantly.
Who? Gurley, reluctantly?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if in the rankings, if Singletary has moved up enough to pass Gurley for any of us. So 22, 24. So it's really close, but it's still going to be Gurley.
Mr. Black has Singletary ahead by 1, it said.
Oh, well, good for him. No, has he ever been wrong? I mean,
probably.
It's not a bad play to go with Gurley or to go with Singletary. Sorry, I think the only wrong play is going Deontay Johnson in a full PPR league. Even still,
he could do really well too. All 3 of those guys could have really good.
But I'm looking for the better play, and it's going to be Gurley, then Singletary, then Johnson for me.
Yeah, it's close though.
This one isn't close for me. That's Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, it's Melvin Gordon for me as well. Agreed.
Trey S, thanks for the comments. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. MB Curl, no wonder that fantasy manager is in the last place. Ooh, shots fired, Matt. Shots fired.
Yeah, I had a really bad week 1 in that league that he's talking about.
Deion Lewis, Devin Singletary, Ronald Jones, or Devonta Freeman, full PPR. KJW Watkinson.
Singletary,
if you just got to pick one. If you got to pick 2, that might take some digging around to figure out who the next guy is. But it'd probably be Deion Lewis.
It's probably Deion Lewis, but it's close between him and Ronald Jones.
Yeah, it's not Devonta Freeman because you're not desperate at running back to have to play him. Choose 2.
Yeah.
Choose 2.
So it's Singletary for sure, and I've got Deion Lewis next, yeah.
Yeah, so Deion Lewis, Devin Singletary are the 2. Best of luck, KJW Watkinson. Make sure to like and subscribe. MB Curl says, hi, this is Olga. Hi, everyone. Hi, Olga. Make sure to like and subscribe.
There you go.
So I'm just going to check my lineups, Matt, while you keep everyone occupied.
All right, that isn't a great segue there for anything. I don't even know what to. I got a chance to check my lineups too. Why don't we talk about? Okay, that's nice.
We're going to talk about the flex spot for Dr. Clutch. That's what we're going to do.
There you go.
Marvin Jones.
This is standard, right? We decided.
Yeah, Dr. Clutch plays standard. J.K. Dobbins is not a play that you want to risk it on. Jerry Jeudy plays at the same time as Marvin Jones. Yes?
Yes, they play late.
Jeff Wilson the last 3 names you should not even have mentioned. I don't know how many teams in your league, but you could probably drop those guys for better players. Figured it's Marvin Jones, but don't know if you guys were high on anyone this week. Jerry Jeudy is interesting, but with the injury makes me go Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I think Marvin Jones is a safer play for sure.
Yep.
Again, but if it's kind of one of those situations where you do need someone to go off, then Judy's the guy.
Yeah, if you have a bad early game slate and you need points, put in Jerry Jeudy. Figured it's Marvin Jones, but don't know if you guys were high on anyone this week. Hollywood Brown,
That's not one of his options.
No. But we did make this bet. Absolute terrible bet on my part. There's no reason anybody should make this bet. Chris Godwin is for sure the more consistent start, and what 7 weeks out of 10 he's going to beat Hollywood Brown in points.
Yeah.
Gurley or Ingram standard format. Matt, you agree it's Gurley?
Yes, I don't see that question, but yes.
It is on Instagram.
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, it's Gurley for me. Let's see here. There's some chatter in the chat here. AJ Brown, Michael Thomas, and Devo Samuel. Well, I mean, Devo we knew was going to be out, but yeah.
Devo's coming back though. It's his last week on the IR. He'll be back next week. That's why he's in the back.
They said probably not till week 5 for him.
Boo! Bring him back early. Get him hurt. If those are your options for flex, you should just give up. Wow, Olga.
Olga, yeah.
Rude of you.
Jeez.
Yeah, figures more, but yeah, we get it, Dr. Clutch. We're just playing around with you. We really enjoy you coming into the show every week. But yeah, I don't know how many teams are in your league, but you maybe want to look to get rid of those guys and see what else is available out there. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. Show me what's available. MB Curl, I don't have Sutton, Barkley, or Akers healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had to drop 2 of those guys because they're out for the year.
Yeah.
And Akers is not a good start. Fortnite clips, Deontay Johnson or James Conner?
I would go Conner.
You love Conner.
I have to go Conner, but
Conner is the safer play here. Deontay Johnson is the higher upside play. But yeah, you're right. It is James Conner, regardless of scoring, even if it's PPR. But I mean, James Conner lost to Tariq Cohen in points in week 1, and Matt still hasn't let that down. So
yeah, Conner could get hurt and play number 1 as well. Like
yeah, I mean that could happen. That means more Deontay Johnson if Conner goes down. But man, do I not like having Conner on my team? And fortunately, I don't have him on any team.
I got him in one league.
And in that one league, you didn't grab Benny Snell.
No, didn't need him. Conner is my 4th running back. We talked about this.
Yes, we did. Yeah. You also spent a lot of money on him. Someone you don't have in any league, right?
No, I've still got him in one league.
I think we have in RSO.
Oh, maybe that too. But Dynasty.
Yeah, I made a move today. I don't know if you saw that. Picked up somebody.
Care to elaborate?
Let me look at it, and I will elaborate for you. I don't have it open.
Oh.
It's definitely new. And we have a comment from Dr. Clutch. Fell too far on waiver wire to get good depth. Well, there should still be something out there. Like the waiver wire is never barren that you're getting Rex Burkhead. And I know he had I added Jeremy McNichols to our team. Again, the contract's free if we just drop him, but we had an empty spot. So Jeremy McNichols, if something happens to Derrick Henry today, you are going to be thanking me, and you can just order pizza and send it over to my place.
One of your favorite players from like 3 years ago.
Yep.
Nobody mentioned which one of our Sunday Showdown teams they like better.
They never do. It's very rude of them. And then I closed it. So it's also very rude of me. So let's talk about our DFS teams.
We got 1 minute.
We got more time than that. Matt, this is your team, and something really interesting happened. You have Burrow and Drake, and I have Kyler Murray and the man. You can't see him unless I go right there. Mixon. On my team. So we have the quarterback, running back.
Flips, yeah.
So hopefully one of us is right and the other one is wrong, so that somebody gets a really good cash and not half of us is right on each one. Like I don't want to see Kyler going off and then Burrow going off. I want one of us to nail it and the other one to just get nothing.
All right, that's fair enough.
Get that money.
Yeah, I think that Sanders and Drake I thought were both really solid. We saw what Cleveland did to Cincinnati last week in the run game, and Aaron Jones did to Detroit last week, so that's why I went with Drake over the Kyler stack. Cooper and Metcalf, that game is just going to be ridiculously high scoring, I think. DJ Moore was that's kind of fit in there, and he was a good player. And Deontay Johnson. We just talked about. I like him.
Yeah. My lineups are almost identical. I have a man I'm betting against this week in Chris Godwin, and then the other one I have. No, I have them both. Oh, sorry, I have Cooper in one and Singletary in the other, and I got the Murray Isabella stack. I switched it from the Fitzgerald stack. Mm-hmm. I did my lineups, and I was like, wow, I have $3,000 left, so I increased everybody at like every position. And the same thing happened when I did the FanDuel one as well.
Let's see here: Montgomery, Josh Kelly, Robert Woods, full PPR. It's definitely not Josh Kelly. I would still go.
I'd still go
Woods, yeah, but Montgomery isn't a bad play there either.
No, that's fine. Josh McKelly's a bad play though.
Yeah.
Nice bot, sad boy. I hope I said that properly. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. That is going to wrap it up for us. Unless Nice bot, sad boy has another question. We're going to be heading out. It's game time in like a minute, so yeah. Rosters are pretty much locked. But yeah, that's go with Robert Woods. Montgomery's not a bad start as well, though. But that's going to wrap it up. Kenyon Drake or Deontay Johnson? It's Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake.
Doesn't matter which scoring.
Kenyon Drake.
You can't even change that right now. Deontay Johnson would be locked by now anyway.
Depends. Maybe you're playing on a paper and pen league where you have to just like call someone and let them know. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for us since all the lineups are locked. Enjoy the Sunday football. Matt, anything to add?
Thanks for watching, everyone.
That's it.